WandaVision. Welcome everyone to Pop Culture Omniversa, and we're at the end of WandaVision. You only talked about the first episode. I was waiting to see everything be follow through with the rest of the series instead of just doing it week by week, even though I could have easily got away with that. But nah. Oh man, this was insane. The okay, it apparently takes place 3 weeks after the events of Endgame, so they haven't caught up with time. And Wanda Maximoff and Vision are secret. And yeah, okay, let's get right into the spoiler stuff. Wanda creates a reality with a hexagonal sphere static magic because it turns out she has chaos magic and she is in fact becoming the Scarlet Witch, which means I'm pretty sure it's going to lead into House of M, which I initially thought it would. A reverse version of House of M. But yeah. And then Wanda gives birth to two children. Yeah. And they may or may not be alive, or the witch Agatha is secretly trying to find a way to manipulate Wanda. Yeah, that happens at the end. But yeah, Pietro came back, but not the Pietro we're familiar with. Not the MCU Pietro who we only saw for like one movie. No, we're more getting the Evans Peters Pietro. You know, the X-Men one that doesn't exist. There was some wild speculation about who exactly this Pietro was. Was it X-Men's Pietro? Is it the multiverse concept? Does it involve Scarlet Witch breaking all reality and going ahead and doing what the Avengers already contributed to? I had predicted in the first episode that, okay, so when does Doctor Strange show up? I'm pretty sure this is something he would want to tackle into, right? He never shows up in the series, sadly, and I was like, okay, well, that was disappointing. And Pietro's character turns out to be just a normal citizen who got recasted with the actor because the behind the scenes talk revealed that oh no, we gotta get Evan Peters involved. He is the one we want. There was no plan B, and leading to a hilarious meme now saying Snooper's gonna snoop. Snitches get stitches. And all the while the S.W.O.R.D is watching them in the background, taking note of everything. It turns out that somehow WandaVision is a sitcom in the reality outside of Wanda Maximoff's altered reality. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I'm still confused, and I watched the damn episode. So, oh yeah, WandaVision is a sitcom within the real world because Wanda somehow is making this a TV show. Oh, and this show starts off in a 50s setting and ends in the late 2000s setting. So they go through decade by decade as the episodes go by. They, like one goes from the 50s to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, all the way to the 90s and 2000s to mid to late 2000s. And everyone thought, and there were leaks suggesting that this was originally going to happen, that the scary evil threat behind Wanda Maximoff's deterioration of depression was secretly Mephisto. Because we all know Mephisto is clearly going to be having fun with this. He's not the one that does it. I was surprised by that sudden turn. Instead, it's this character named Agatha, and I was like, "Who's Agatha?" And I was like, "Okay, maybe comic explain me a video about that." And sure enough, he did. So I also looked it up. Agatha is a fictional character that appears in the American comic book published series by Marvel. Yada yada yada. A powerful witch, typically portrayed as sinister heroine and teacher of Wanda Maximoff, as well as the mother of Nicholas Scratch. Agatha is one of the original witches from the Salem witch trials, who goes on to become a significant figure in the Marvel universe, protecting Franklin Richards as his nanny and later mentoring during Wanda in the use of magic. At one point, she became a familiar named Ebony, a cat-like creature which senses the presence of mystical beings. So, what, did she turn evil in the comics? I still haven't figured that out. But yeah, but it turns out, yeah, the series finale of it, of it, as it's called. The episodes go with sitcom names, which is just hilarious. Like, film before our lives to the audience. Don't touch that dial. Now in color, we interrupt this program on a very special episode, all new Halloween Spooktacular, breaking the fourth wall, previously on and the series finale. And we get backstories of the MCU Agatha, who's revealed to have killed her mother in a coven of liches for practicing dark magic. But she drains their life forces. So yeah, naturally, this is a horror story. Yeah, every time when I watched this, I was like, okay, it's hilarious. They're doing this whole sitcom stuff they're basing it off of. But it seems like they have an underlying edge of horror involved, because this is clearly mental deterioration. Because I was thinking this is mental deterioration, it's grief, her powers are becoming unstable, that's altering reality, much like House of M was leading into it, like A-Day for them, where everyone in the Avengers fell apart in the 500th issue for the worst day of their lives. I must stress that was a whole day. And yet, it doesn't lead to like this explosion of all reality shattering or reality being altered. Or in fact, here's the thing about this. So, Wanda and the post-credit scene is studying the Darkhold in her astral form when she hears the twins cry for help, which means the twins are alive, but Agatha may be the cause, but at the same time she's not, because she's unable to use her magic and traps her in her Angie's form before Wanda says goodbye into the twins before collapsing the barrier and then goes into hiding. And Monica Rambeau is from the Captain Marvel movie, but grown up. Turns out she was blipped, and in the subsequent disaster in which she's resurrected, turns out, yeah. Oh man, it did not end well. Turns out her mother from Captain Marvel passed away of cancer. She was cured. She got surgery. Then she died a few years later when her cancer reformed. So, yeah, she died never knowing her daughters came back. So that's got to eat away at her. Like the whole series seems to be about grief and everything. But the acting was, oh my god, so freaking awesome. And I loved Elizabeth Olsen's character, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. I actually thought she was gonna go all House of M on us at one point. I really thought that, and I was thinking, oh god, if she goes House of M, that means that the mutants are coming. The mutants are coming. But there is some degree of interest. This is all supposed to tie into Doctor Strange's multiverse of madness, which means Wanda Maximoff could have accidentally created a alternate reality with her actions, because it just alter it just a little bit, it just makes a different reality in their eyes. So, and also, I want to see Evan Peters' Pietro come back. I think they set that stage because they want to set MCU Pietro to come back, but not have Aaron Taylor Johnson be the actor. But so they could use the multiverse stuff, because oh man, I actually wanted to see if they would make a reference to the X-Men besides the actor by mentioning, oh man, last time I saw you were in my arms all scared over our dad. Imagine if they made that reference from X-Men Days of Future Past. Remember that scene where Evan Peters' Pietro was holding a little girl, but they had to confirm that was not Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch? They could have easily referenced that. That would have been awesome. Saying, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time, sis. Last time I saw you were scared in my arms and looking at apparently her dad going crazy at the White House. That would be such a Marvel thing they could have done. Missed opportunity there, man. And yeah, Wanda clearly wants to get away from all the grief. I thought I was sure. I was thinking, is Hawkeye showing up in this? He has a friendship with Wanda. No, he's not showing up. Doctor Strange. Oh, he'll help fix this, right? He's involved with magic. No, not even a post-credit scene. Yeah, I was like wondering that. But yeah, it's also revealed that 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 as Hayward is arrested, Monica is informed by Skrull that a friend of her mother's wants to meet, which means Captain Marvel. Yay! So get ready for Captain Marvel 2 as they also prepare for Miss Marvel's arrival, which is in filming. So yeah, and yeah, this was a pretty good miniseries. If they ever do a season two, as rumors say, they could make that all the shows have the potential for sequel seasons. I could see that happening after Multiverse of Madness. I don't see them happening during it. And with Vision now revived, so to speak, because they make a all white Vision made from the remains of the original Vision. And yeah, it turns out this is a comic book reference, which okay, I'm wondering. Okay, I get the comic book world, but what does the resurrection have to have him be all white for? I'm trying to wonder that. But and Vision of the Wanda reality is able to transfer all the memories, copy all the memories down into the new Vision's body, which means he is Vision. So I wonder if Wanda's going to be aware of that when the time comes. So, uh, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, but I don't know what they're gonna do with Evan Peters after this. Is this the end of the Pietro character, or is this part of the multiverse plot? Ralph. It turns out his name is Evan Peters' character is Ralph Boher. I can't pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try and make the accidental mistake. So, yeah. So, yeah. And yeah, Agatha was the one possessing this actor. Yeah, that's the actor in the movie. Like not like the actor's name. Well, okay, it's an MCU in character who just happens to be an actor. Agatha possessed him, imbuing him with Pietro's super speed and forcing him to play into playing the role in order to discover how Wanda created the hex powers. First revealing that she has chaos magic and that she's the Scarlet Witch. Because Wanda Maximoff never has called herself the Scarlet Witch in the MCU. So they set out an origin story essentially for her to become the Scarlet Witch. With a whole new outfit and everything to reference the olden days, yet also talk about the modern stuff. Kevin Feige did say he did not rule out a second season reporting to the Phase 4 film Multiverse of Madness as the continuation story is set up in WandaVision. While the behind the scenes team said there are no plans at all for a second season unless a specific story came about that will warrant an additional season. So it's more like it's not in out of the ruling, but it's kind of out of the ruling. But this was a pretty good show. WandaVision, I'm curious to know what's happening next. Monica is clearly set for Captain Marvel appearance, for Captain Marvel 2's appearance, and Wanda is set for the returning of Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. So, yeah. And I did like the fresh perspective of the blimp event for Monica Rambeau's episode because when you got in Spider-Man, it was portrayed up as comedic, like ha ha ha. When in reality, it's like, oh God. Because here's the thing that no one brought up, I don't think. People disappeared while they were in planes and in helicopters and ships. Do they blimp on the ground or do they blimp into the air and then fall to the ground? I I'm genuinely curious if that's the case. But we'll have to see if more stuff's shown about the blip and the after effects other than people being trapped in their moments and then coming back after that moment and acting like it was just a quick dream, only to realize, oh, we were all dead. And that people never got a sense of closure. Like imagine how messed up it would be that you're about to say goodbye, you're about to end your issues with somebody, and they're passing away soon. You're about to say it, then you get blimped, and then you come back and you realize it's been 5 years after that, and they're already dead, and therefore you never got that closure with them. And it's like, oh my god, that's actually, oh my god, the Avengers screwed up big time. They probably should have thought that part through a little bit better. Well, they had no choice in the matter. Thanos destroyed the stones before they had the chance to, and they waited 2 weeks. Yeah. Ouch. So either way, the Avengers lost to something in this, even though they saved everyone. So yeah, we also got some characters coming in like Darcy Lewis and Jimmy Woo from Thor and Ant-Man respectively. And yeah, Darcy Lewis from who previously interned for Jane Foster and the return to the role for the first time since Thor: The Dark World, and Jimmy Woo was the parole officer for Scott Lang, Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man the Wasp. And yeah, so yeah, it's been, they were set to do some things with those two, but they were like, yeah, we can't, we don't have the time for it. So they cut those out. It would have been interesting to see more character stuff for them be explored, but they cut that out. But yeah, WandaVision was a pretty damn good show. Oh, I can't wait what this has implicated for the MCU. Ooh, and the multiverse in general, because I get the feeling this screwed up a lot of things. Because this is just the tip of the iceberg. Bear in mind, this is just the start of Phase 4. I haven't even covered Spider-Man Far From Home yet. Yeah, I really should. It's been 2 years. Come on, I gotta make myself watch. I have to make myself talk about it again. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting, everybody. It was fun. It was border on horror. It could have been more horror if they really went with it. And they even did a very disturbing moment where Wanda is when Wanda kicks out Monica from her reality, and then she sees Vision, and it turns out Vision's head's been broken by Thanos and everything, and from Infinity War, and it's just like, okay, Marvel, you have my attention again because you were trying your damnedest to make us scared, isn't it? But yeah, and it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, MCU is back after the year delay. So we'll have to see what goes on. This was Neo Reality Entertainment presenting Pop Culture Omniversa. If you like, comment, subscribe, and don't. Why did I say don't? I've been trying to get away from that. Check out my other content in the description below. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you next time. Peace and take care.